TV. Today we're back for another book review, and this is another read along. This is called Little Red Riding Hood by Heapy and Heap. Those are the last names of these authors and illustrators. I just figured that out while I was reading this. And actually this was quite very different, but the characters are the same. The very little Red Riding Hood would not be eaten. The wolf was trying to scare her, but I'm not going to say that much part of the story because, of course, spoilers. So, if you all love the book, we can read along. So, and see, if you look closely, I actually thought this was like something a part of her design, but it's like actually cat ears on her hoodie. Maybe she likes cats. Or maybe it was supposed to be a bear ear. I have no idea. But how did she get the cat? Maybe she likes foxes? Because in here, actually, I'll just give you one hint. Very little Red Riding Hood loves the wolf, and she calls her Foxy, and he calls him Foxy. So I'm not gonna tell you the rest of the story because you know what I said before, spoilers. So let's read along. Guys, actually when you open this book, you'll see like a sign here. It says, "Live here to see fabulous fold-out map." So when you open it, you see all of the princess and princesses and like it's all red and white, and then look, Grandmama's house, very little Cinderella's house, and it says babysit. Guys, I'm sorry, my mom told me I was a little too quick, so let me try again, but this time slower. So in here we have all of the princess and the prince, and look, this is very little Red Riding Hood Grandmama's house. And actually this is the woods, and this is where the fox will appear. Because because if you look closely to the tree, I can imagine that that's a wolf. And then here in very little Cinderella's house, there must be a problem with Cinderella's daughter. Look, babysitter needed quick. Maybe she has some issues. Maybe she wants gold. I don't know. But here is very little Princess Palace. Party tonight. And wait, what's the difference with a palace and a castle? If you guys know, tell me now. So I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, so I hope you know what that is. And here is very little Goldilocks is in. I hope she doesn't. Oh my goodness. The bears are finally here. They're in front of her house. Do you see those white things? That sign isn't safe for her. I remember in the story that she's being chased by bears. Bears. Real life talking bears. That's why I'm nervous when it's a baby. A baby being attacked. So let's continue with the story. I think I'm being too paranoid with these baby characters. Guys, this is the summary of Very Little Red Riding Hood by Heapy and Heap. So this is their summary. Very Little Red Riding Hood is little, very little. She's off to her grandmama's for a sleepover, and she won't let anything stand in her way. Not even a wolf. Join her on a very big adventure. Just delightful, wonderfully original, funny, and sweet. This is a comment from Nick Sarat, I think. And the other one it says fabulous full-out map inside. So I think you already seen that. So now let's start the story. Very Little Red Riding Hood by Teresa Heapy and Sue Heap. So this is the page where we saw the map, and On the other side of the page, there we see the story. Now let's begin. Very Little Red Riding Hood was going to her grandmama's for a sleepover. I go see Grandma with cakes, said Very Little Red Riding Hood. Yes, my lovely, I know, said her mommy. Off you go. Be gentle with Grandmama and don't break anything. Bye-bye, Mommy. Bye-bye, my mommy, said Very Little Red Riding Hood. So Very Little Red Riding Hood set off for Grandmama's house. She hadn't got very far when she met a wolf. A foxy, said Very Little Red Riding Hood. She gave him a big hug. Aren't you scared? Asked the wolf. I'm not scared. I Very Little Red Riding Hood. That's what I am, said Very Little Red Riding Hood. I go see Grandma with cakes, said Very Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, good, said the wolf. Can I have one? No, said Very Little Red Riding Hood. No, touch my cakes. Well, that's how Little Red Riding Hood got really angry in just one friendly wolf asking for the last piece of cake. The wolf tried again. Can I come too? No, shouted Very Little Red Riding Hood. Go away. The wolf tried once more. Look at these lovely flowers, he said. We could pick some for your grandmama. No, screamed Very Little Red Riding Hood. Not yellow flowers, red. So they picked some red flowers. Come on, Foxy, said Very Little Red Riding Hood. We go this way, aren't we? Chase me. So the wolf had to chase Very Little Red Riding Hood all the way to Grandmama's house. Very Little Red Riding Hood knocked on Grandmama's door. I come see you, Grandma. Look, cakes, she said. Well, it's lovely to see you, dear, said the Grandmama. And then, help! There's a wolf on the doorstep. I come for a sleepover, said Very Little Red Riding Hood firmly. I got my bag, I got Red Teddy, and my cups, and my blanket. Foxy, do you want a cup of tea? He can't come in, said Grandmama. Oh, Grandma, it's only Foxy, said Very Little Red Riding Hood. So the wolf came in and took a cup of tea from Very Little Red Riding Hood. They all had a cup of tea, then they played hide and seek, then they did dancing, then they did drawing, then they had another cup of tea, and another. The wolf and Grandmama were getting quite tired. But then Very Little Red Riding Hood remembered something or somebody. I don't know where is my mommy, said Very Little Red Riding Hood. I want my mommy. Very Little Red Riding Hood was very upset. Grandma tried a story. She tried a hug. She tried Red Teddy. Mr. Wolf, we're in trouble, she said. Can you help? So the wolf tried. Oh, what big wet eyes you have, he said. Oh, what big snotty nose you have, he said. And then, oh, what a big red mouth you have, said the wolf. And I'm going to give you a great big tickle. So the wolf tickled Very Little Red Riding Hood. He tickled her arms, he tickled her ribs and her toes. She tickled her chin, her ears, and her nose. Very Little Red Riding Hood stopped crying. She laughed and laughed and laughed, and then she fell asleep. And they all slept happily ever after. Guys, I hope you like this book, cause the ending was so funny. It's like instead of the big sharp tingy ting, and then instead who's saying those big eyes, it was the foxy guy, but it's actually a wolf. And also the ending was so funny and cute. They all happily slept together, because I never saw an ending that they all sleep. That's actually Sleeping Beauty in the middle. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. So smash the like button, hit the notification bell, and hit the subscribe button so we can get the non-subscribers. Bye!